What's going on, everybody? How are you guys doing? Everyone's surviving out there. Is the volume of everything okay? The sound, like the voice and the music, everything all right? What's up to everyone in the chat? Thanks for being here, guys. Cause this weekend I was seriously thinking that me, the wife, kids, and dogs were gonna be moving into your treehouse. Yeah, my fort that I built is pretty roomy, so if you want to come hang out, we'll be throwing some crypto meetups in the middle of the woods. What's up, Neon? I just realized a lot of chart patterns are basically the pattern of changing structures of highs and lows. For example, head and shoulders is where the last shoulder, lower high than the previous head. Yeah, pretty much. Hey, Cause, everything sounds okay. What's good? What's up, Attila, Democryptus, Flying Dutchman, Benjamin. Stream's blurry, stop being in the middle of the woods. I'll need a Bitcoin back above 50K. Bitcoin above 50K, we're living in a beach house. Bitcoin below 50K, and we're living in a TP fort in the middle of the woods. So that's how it goes. What's up, Raphael? Do I have a Spotify playlist? No, I just play this. It's live, a live lo-fi. Oops. Live lo-fi is pretty much it. Music's good. Been getting chopped to death. That's not ideal. Hey Cody, what's going on, brother? Tyler, how's it going, man? Good to see you here. I know your instinct. I have your first name in my contacts, but you didn't save my contact, so we still have a little beef there. I'm just kidding. No beef. It's all love, instinct. All right, let's get started. Hope everyone has been surviving. I haven't been doing too much trading recently. Those birds are part of the music, or you're streaming from the middle of the jungle. Yeah, those ones are, hey Haley. Those ones are because I'm in the woods. So we got the birds. Hopefully I don't get attacked by a bear while I'm streaming. My new hut doesn't have too much protection. What time is it there? Afternoon, evening, nighttime. Depends on your sleep schedule. Okay, let's get started. So I haven't been trading too much recently. This is literally the range we've been watching for 5 days. Bitcoin's just been consolidating more or less. We took a long here. Plunge protection team was in full control. Took some profit at the mid-range. Closed the rest around here when it started to drop. And other than that, I've pretty much been waiting. I did enter a long on Ethereum a couple days ago. Thanks to Arian in the chat. I was golfing and he says, "Cause, buy some Ethereum." And I said, okay, I trust you. And he nailed the bottom. So shout out to him. That's pretty much the only trade I've taken. I did take a short around the mid-range here, but I closed it after this sweep. So haven't been taking too many trades. I've been taking it a bit slow. Ethereum about to break out live. Oh yeah. Yeah, we'll talk about, honestly, I'm mostly going to focus on Bitcoin and Ethereum. We'll look at ETH BTC. I probably won't look at too many alts right now. I do want to look at Rune, but not too many alts are looking too good, and I pretty much just want to talk about the things that seem a little bit more clear to me. So mostly Bitcoin and Ethereum right now. As I've said on Twitter before, I don't want you guys to think about not trading as losing an opportunity to make money. I want you to think of it as an opportunity to not be losing money. So sometimes sitting on your hands is the best position you can be in, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. Most of my tether has been deployed throughout this drop. Some of it a bit early, full disclosure. I'm not perfect. I didn't buy my entire spot Bitcoin at 30K. But yeah, I do think there's a pretty good chance the low is in. If the low isn't in, I think it's just going to be a wick below here. But we can talk about that in a bit. So right now, mostly sitting on my hands, looking for a bit more price action to play out, and looking to just play the range extremes if we get them. So far today, turn on my session breaks. So far today, we've just been consolidating. We haven't taken out Monday's high or Monday's low, so you could call it an inside day. And by that, I mean all of the price action today has been inside yesterday's candle. So more of a consolidation day, not a lot to do. If you are trading a lot right now, you're probably getting chopped up a bit. I don't think you need to be taking any swings right now. Like, there have been some good scalps, some good day trades. But other than that, I think it's best to remain patient, especially if you're newer to trading. I'm not newer to trading, but I'm still just sitting on my hands because I know my limits. I know that I can perform a lot better in different conditions, and so I'm just waiting for very specific things before entering. So let's talk about some setups, I guess not setups, some plans, possible setups that I have for Bitcoin. First of all, I see these two areas as magnets for price if we do go up. I like 42.5-ish, and I like 45.8, basically 46K. I think those are some nice levels to keep an eye on if we do bounce. If we're looking at the daily time frame, though, I guess I should have started with the daily. I'm kind of all over the place. So basic market structure, we had a very clear clean up trend, consistently making higher highs. Well, that's going to disappear. Let me go to a cleaner chart. Hide this. But that's something I'm keeping an eye out for. I'm not saying I think that's going to happen, but it's a possibility. So we were in a pretty nice uptrend, like really clear market structure, just making higher highs and higher lows. But then, that's a horrible line. This low gave out. We made a lower low compared to this one. And then we didn't reach that high, so we made a lower high. Now this low has broken. We've made a new lower low. And I'm expecting us to put in a lower high. I think it's a little foolish to expect anything other than that, just because that's what the market structure is telling us. So for instance, when we were back here, we had a high, a low, a higher high, we expect a higher low because the structure is bullish. And then after this, we expect a higher high because the structure is bullish. Then we expect a lower low, expect a higher high. Once we've broken the market structure, we expect a lower high. So we made a lower high here, kind of right into that level, sold off. And now it makes sense to me that we would make a lower high and then maybe come down again, but you know, we're just playing this level to level. So basically what I'm saying is I need to expect a lower high until I'm proven otherwise. So either we break this high and then we're bullish again and we look for a higher low and we go up, or if we just consolidate for long enough, then I would call a breakout of that consolidation a break in structure, because then these highs would be our more relevant ones and not this one anymore. So that doesn't mean we can't be bullish until 60K breaks. That just means that big bounces towards 50, I think that's kind of the key level to watch. Let me pull up a weekly chart. I think this is an important weekly support. Well, resistance now. And we have probably we have daily supply up there too. So basically this is the important level that I have right now. And if we do start bouncing, as we get into this level, I will be either selling some spot or opening shorts to 1-to-1 hedge my spot holdings, because the expectation would be that this level holds as resistance and we go back down. We could go down and make a higher low and then break up, but I'm saying the main point is that as we bounce, I need to have in the back of my mind that we have broken structure, and if we do push up, I would want to hedge or take profit or just protect myself, because we have to expect downside until proven otherwise, essentially. If we can flip this level though, then I just expect us to be trading back within this range that we had been in for a really long time. So I'm not saying we have to break 60K before we can have a bullish bias. I have a bullish bias right now. It's just that after the bounce, I expect that to be resistance. So I hope that helps, that more higher time frame picture. I hope that's not too confusing. Basically, I just want you guys to be cautious that if this starts ripping, we start putting in a couple really bullish candles, that doesn't mean we're going straight back to all-time highs, right? Even a bounce like this, we would still have downtrending market structure. I'm not saying that has to happen. I don't want it to happen. But I just need to be proven otherwise before I stop expecting that to happen. Does that make sense? Let me know if that is clear, everybody. Brian says clear. Carnage makes sense. Attila, cool. Okay. Crystal clear. Awesome. Okay. I'm glad that makes sense. So with that being said, now that you guys know my higher time frame bias, and bias, like saying bullish versus bearish, like it's such a hard thing to quantify because it's like, do I expect us to go up? Yes. Do I think that means we're going straight to fresh all-time highs? No, we have a lot of work to do. Like, we need to start flipping some levels, or at least start having some more bullish structure. Because right now, this structure's messed up. Like, we never had this big of a drop in this entire, not even just that big of a drop, but never really broke a low like that. I mean, here, I guess you could say if this was your market structure, then we broke that. I mean, we did end up continuing up, but I guess that's the only place where you could make an argument that we broke structure. But anyway, also, Ethereum's looking really good, so we're gonna look at that soon. Not necessarily a trade that I would take right now. I think this little deviation and reclaim of SR was a nice trade, but I'm really trying to cut back on my trade frequency, because trades I take around this mid-range, I'm more likely to get chopped up. We'll look at that soon, though. Let me just check. So you're planning to sell spot to buy more only if we flip above. Sometimes I prefer to short hedge instead of selling spot, because the thing with selling spot is if we come into this level and I short hedge, let's say for the sake of the argument, I have 1 Bitcoin, 1 BTC. If you could either sell your 1 Bitcoin here, or you could enter a 1 Bitcoin short, okay? And both of those things are achieving the same result. If you're in a 1 Bitcoin short and you hold 1 Bitcoin, you're essentially in USD, because if this goes up, you're losing Bitcoin value, but if you close the short, you still have 49K in your account. So you miss out on some upside if it keeps pumping. But the reason I like to do it this way, the reason I like to, and not always, but the reason I sometimes prefer to short instead of selling spot is, I mean, let's say we do something like this. Let's say our market structure was bearish, and right here, you're like, okay, I'm going to short some, my stop is right here, and then it just pumps through, right? So you got stopped out here at 42K, but now Bitcoin's trading at 46. You made back you've made back some, I mean, you're no longer hedged, right? Your USD value is going to be up. But if you sold your spot and it just keeps grinding up, it's sometimes hard to know when to get back into your spot. So I guess I'd rather be stopped out of a hedge than have to choose or have to decide when to re-enter spot if something like this happens. You know, if we're coming up to that resistance and I sell all my spot, and then Google says they bought Bitcoin and we're all of a sudden trading at 67K, I just missed out on this whole thing. Instead of hedging here, maybe my stop loss is there or it's wherever, you know, I'll need to see some more price action. But then all you did was miss out on this section, and then you're back and making money for this portion of it. If that makes sense. And also, if funding is positive, you're 1-to-1 hedged, but you're being paid funding. So that's another benefit of short hedging versus selling your spot. Let me catch up with the chat really quick. Could you look at ETH? Yes, we will. So you're planning to sell? I'd answer that. Do you think we'll break up to 45-ish now, or are we dipping to 33 first? I have no idea. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to lay out scenarios so that we're prepared for whatever does happen, right? At what point would I turn bearish? I like the view of the 3-day. I think this, wow, I always hide stuff and then draw. I think this is our important level, And if we broke down and that holds as resistance, then we've officially broken below this consolidation, and I would be expecting us to go to like 20K. I don't think that's going to happen, but I would definitely be concerned. How does funding rate work there in terms of payback? Well, so let's say you're short Bitcoin. I guess I don't really understand full. If you're short and funding is positive, you're going to be paid funding. So you'll be making money from funding while you're short. So you could honestly, like if it comes up into resistance and then just consolidates for a while, you could collect funding for like a week, which could end up being a pretty nice sum of money depending on how much Bitcoin you're hedging. So, all right, let's talk about the scenarios I'm looking for with Bitcoin and Ethereum specifically, because I think those are the clearest right now. And I also want to talk about ETH BTC. I think that relationship is very important right now, especially in terms of spot holdings. I'm about 50-50 right now in terms of spot Ethereum and Bitcoin, because Ethereum really just still looks a lot stronger. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Ethereum continue to outperform. But all right, let us talk about Bitcoin. So this is the same range we've had for 5 days. We drew this range when price was like, I want to say around here somewhere. Nice low, nice high. Mid-range was very well respected. I was looking for a sweep of this high to get short, and then we were looking for a sweep of this low to get long. Unfortunately, I just barely missed the short up here because it dumped down quite a bit. Was able to take a long here, trim some at the mid-range, and here we are. So I still like these levels, and I also want to add a couple other levels as confluence. I don't need Monday's mid-range to crowd this chart, but ML is going to stand for Monday's low, and then MH is going to stand for Monday's high. I think those are the right ones. I could just put on session breaks, but that's fine. So those are some key levels that we look to trade usually. I'm not sure if I would trade a sweep of Monday's high this week, just because then we're kind of in the middle of nowhere, right? We're in this upper half of this range, but we still have really clear liquidity up here. So I wouldn't necessarily want to short this, because I think it's more likely we take these highs before coming down. So if Bitcoin does roll over sooner than later, I think a really nice setup is going to be a sweep of this low, of Monday's low, right into our range low, and also into this support. So I don't know exactly where the wick would go, but I would be interested in longs anywhere in this blue area. And I think your stop has to be, at least at the bottom of this wick, because if it breaks back below this level, I would probably just try and cut it early. But I think longs between 33.5 and 35K are going to be the move. And we also, if I throw session breaks on here, we also have the weekly open right here. So this is a level that I really want to be doing business around. There's just so much confluence here. Range low, Monday's low, weekly open, this SR level, and it's right within this 3-day demand. You could say this is a pretty nice SR level too. This bounce that we broke, resistance, and then we flipped it, that's been a pretty clean SR level. And if we look, that's literally right in this section as well. So this blue area is where I want to be getting long. And it's funny because I already know that if this starts to roll over, people are going to be like, okay, we're going to 27K now. But I've seen a lot of people talk about the argument that the fact that we're not moving away from this level quickly is bearish. I don't really think it's bearish. I just think it's consolidation. Like, I expect Bitcoin to just consolidate around here for a little while. Chicken Little, what's up, Cause? Chicken Man made back his losses. That's what I'm talking about, my guy. Nice work. Chicken Gang. So yeah, this is definitely where I'm interested in long positions. And I don't know if it's gonna go down here. It doesn't have to. All I know is that if Bitcoin pulls back here, I'm interested in long positions. And honestly, it doesn't even matter when. Like, we could do something like this first, take out these highs, and then come down here and get to this area, and that's fine with me too, because as I said, I kind of just expect Bitcoin to range for a while. So I really like this area for longs though. And I'm not really interested in any other longs at the moment. I mean, if we do flip the mid-range, the daily open is right there too. So if we flip the mid-range, I think we're also flipping the daily open, so that's some extra confluence. So I think you could take a day trade long if we get above 38.8. You would just have to be careful. If we sweep Monday's high, I would want to close it for a really small win. But best case scenario, you trade it up to here, close it at the range high, and you probably get a nice like 2R from it. Oh. 2.07. So I think that would be a nice setup. It's a little more risky because I think it's also relatively possible that we just chop around here. We are moving a little bit, but I like our chances to push up if we flip the daily open. So this might be something I would take with half risk. It kind of just depends how things are going when we approach this level. Because Ethereum is breaking out above the mid-range like this, it makes me more confident that Bitcoin will do the same thing, but I can't say for sure quite yet, and I would definitely close it if I see weakness around Monday's high. What's up, Gabe? What's up, Yanal? What's up, Cody? Yeah, that is the crypto Twitter special. So overall, playing the range, shorting SFPs at the top, buying 33s on deviations, or no shorts given we've fallen 50%. No, I'd still be fine with shorting. I mean, that's pretty much how I want to play it. I think the best trades are going to come at the range high and the range low. I think you can get away with day trades at the mid-range, but you need to be a little more careful. And I would probably still short up here. Because like I said, I don't expect Bitcoin to do this. Right? I don't expect us to go straight back up after this nuke. I think it is much more likely that, zoom in so you guys can see better, that we just do something like this. And if we are bullish, I think we eventually do break out of this and push up, and then I'd look for resistance up here, and then maybe we pull back to the range high. But whatever the case, I think it's going to be drawn out. I think it's going to take weeks. And I don't think we're just going to go straight back up in a straight line. So I definitely will be taking some shorts here if the setup presents itself. Like if we have a nice spike above and then strong rejection breakdown, I think a retest of that is absolutely a short. Or we take these equal highs, which I also think is a pretty nice target. I think you could take a short there. If we're starting to bounce right here, you could close some and then just add back on if we lose the range high. But that's also a little further away than what we are playing right now. So I think the best setups, like I said, are going to be around 35 to 34K, and then shorting 42, 43K. Half the people, not half, probably more, the majority of people are just going to try and trade whatever happens. Like if you're not comfortable sitting on your hands and you're just trading everything, you're probably going to get chopped up and lose just as much as you did when this happened. I know our brains, we want to make it back. You know, if you lost money here, you want to make all that money back as soon as you can. You basically just revenge trade. And that's not what we want to do. I think revenge traders are going to get completely chopped up. So, yeah, we're getting a nice little move up here. But with that being said, just don't be the person that's entering 5 trades a day, flip-flopping bias every time we're on either side of this mid-range, right? You're just going to get chopped up. I think in the right circumstances, you could take a trade around the mid-range, but like I said, it's a higher risk trade. And when we're in a range, just play the extremes. Just be patient and play the extremes. If I had that same advice like a year ago, I would have saved so much money. The amount of money I've lost trading within this portion of a range instead of just trading at the extremes, it'd be pretty absurd. So I really hope that advice helps someone, because that is advice I really wish I had when I started trading. Let the market do its thing and only step in when you feel like you have an edge, when you feel like there's something in the price action that gives you a higher probability on your side. So, and I also wouldn't FOMO into a long right here. I know it's exciting that Bitcoin is pushing up pretty nicely from 37.5 to 38.5, but right now we are at resistance. Maybe we sweep this high and come down to the range low. This is definitely not where I want to be getting bullish yet. We have made 3 consecutive lower highs. This might be nothing different. We could just come down here first. We don't have to go to the range high or the range low first. We're just going to trade it either way. But whatever the case, just be patient. The market is always going to be here. There are infinite opportunities to take trades. So don't FOMO into something where you feel like you have no edge. What time frame do I use to determine an SFP? It doesn't really matter, and it also doesn't just have to be a wick. I think it's cleaner if it is, but if I just see price break above here, get rejected, and trade back below, it could close a candle like here and wick up and then close the next one like here and then break down, and that's fine too. So it's not necessarily one specific time frame that I need to see it happen on. I just need to see a move outside of the range and then a break back below. All right. So I think that's pretty much it with Bitcoin. We're still pretty consistently making lower highs and leaving highs unswept. Here, all 3 of those. Here it was kind of a discrepancy. Some exchanges had a tiny little sweep, but I don't really count that. And then here, we've had 3 lower highs too. So it's definitely not showing a ton of strength in the market, but I'm also not too concerned about that because, like I said, I just think we're in a ranging environment. So you could say the fact we're not breaking down again is bullish, in the same way that you could say that the fact we aren't breaking up yet is bearish. You know, I just try to not put any thought into that. I don't want to put too much thought into that narrative, because I just think it goes both ways. Usually when you get that SFP above range high and back below, you're going to set your stop at the move above or the range high. I'd set my stop at the top of that. So let's say it spikes up to 44.4, breaks down, and it started to bounce up to retest the range high, which is exactly what I'll show you guys a really good example of this in a second. In that case, I short this with a stop loss right there, targeting the range low. And that's a 3.7R trade. That'd be killer. All you need to do is hit a couple of those in a month, and you're making a lot of money. So really quickly, one really good example of that. I know this wasn't much of a sweep, like it was a small move, but it doesn't really matter. It was enough to take out stop losses. Perfect retest right there, down to the range low. This one I probably would have given myself a little more room though. So I wouldn't really have wanted my stop loss 2% away with all this volatility. I probably would have put it like above this breakdown candle. I just would have wanted to give it a little bit more space in case it swept that high one more time. So in that case, you have to use discretion. But let's say our range high was like here. If it made this big of a move above the range high and then broke back below, I'd be fine having it at the high. So it does take a little bit of discretion. But in this case, worked out super well. Swept the high, strong rejection, retest, sell off, 3.8R in the bag. And that's exactly what we're looking for here with Bitcoin, but just further along. So sweep the high, break down below, sell off, take profit at the range low. Why do I pick those levels as the range high and range low? Well, a couple different reasons. So here, usually I'll look for a specific swing of price for us to develop a range in. So to me, we put in this low and then a very obvious upswing, a very obvious leg of price, right? So I think we could all agree that this move was one price leg, and I expected us to trade within that level. And then when I drew the range, what added confluence is how well the mid-range was respected. So I usually just look for two swing points, and then if the mid-range is respected very well, then it adds more validity to the range. At one point, maybe you mean at what point during that retest would you have entered? Just that example wasn't that clear confirmation. I mean, after this breakdown, you could have just set limit orders, or you could have waited. I probably would have set some limit orders instead of waiting to see what retest. But this specific scenario, I remember seeing this, but I didn't take the trade because Bitcoin didn't take the high. So I kind of thought we would come up again and sweep it and then go down, but that never happened. So I missed out on an opportunity. But yeah, there are a couple different ways you could play it. If we break above and then break back below, you could just set a limit order right here, or you could watch price, it grinds up, and then just like market enter, because it doesn't have to tag that level for it to be valid. So you could just look for a little bit of a bounce to get a better entry, stop loss at the high, market enter, and then see what happens. Inverse head and shoulders. I guess you mean this. and then if it comes down here, I guess it could be. I think inverse head and shoulders is basically like it's just a ranging environment, just like there are just so many different ways to look at price. Like people would say this is a head and shoulders, but to me, this looks like a range where you take out the high, take out the low, retest the range high, and then break down. And then the same thing is true the other way. You could call this an inverse head and shoulders, or you could say we have a range here, we took out the low, moved back to the range high, broke out of the range high, so that's a break in structure. We couldn't hold above, but then we come down for a retest to the range low and then push away. So people call it different things. People look at the market in different ways. For me, the way I do it is clear to me. But if it makes more sense to you to call it a head and shoulders or to look for that pattern than for you to look for a range, then that works too. You know, trading it's personal. Everyone looks at things a little bit differently. So yeah, but I guess what I'm trying to say is patterns like that, they're just all very different in not very different. I got distracted. It's all the same thing. People just look at it differently, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, let's look at Ethereum. Actually, we can look at ETH BTC first. Oh boy. Guys, I've literally not touched this chart since we looked at it last on stream. And we've broken down. We're retesting this resistance. If this resistance holds, if we get rejected right here, I think this comes down for another leg. But if we break above and hold above that, then this is very bullish. So Ethereum, ETH BTC is at I guess you could call it a make it or break it spot. Tyler says in a range, there will be a deviation from both sides. Use the expectation of a second deviation to plan or long or short. That's right. That's right, Tyler. So if ETH BTC gets rejected here, I would expect a bit of a pullback, and it's just funny that we had this drawn to the T. It gave a nice initial retest right here and then sell off. So that was a nice little setup. But if we can push above this and hold above it, ETH BTC will be super bullish. I will definitely want to be longing Ethereum more than I would want to be longing Bitcoin if this happens. If we get rejected here, maybe sweep this high and then break down, I'll be more interested in shorting Ethereum if the market's going down as well. So basically, if Ethereum breaks out here, Ethereum's the stronger one. If it gets rejected here, it's the weaker one. If you're looking for shorts, short the weaker one. If you're looking for longs, then long the stronger one, if that makes sense. So I'm going to clear that up. I am pretty pleased with how well Ethereum's bouncing back. Nice low candle here. We took out all these lows. Barely front ran the weekly SR, but that's not too big of a deal. And yeah, if it stays above here, I expect ETH BTC to push to new all-time highs soon. This area was our last bit of buying before we sold off. So I guess flipping that whole section, and would you look at that? This is not a coincidence. Look how well that lines up. I'm actually just gonna mark that because recency. That's crazy though. I love charting. Why did I sound so weird when I said that? Charting. So yeah, I think it's a better way of looking at it like this than just the one specific line. Because let's say we close this candle above this line, that doesn't automatically mean it's bullish. When you look at a bigger zone, it's like, I want to see a breakout, and then if we retest it, I want that to hold as support and push up from there. But overall, ETH BTC definitely looks good. Definitely looks good. Next target would be this high at 0.085. And after that, I mean, we're pretty much just looking at these other two highs, and that's it. Could you guys imagine if this weekly candle just engulfs this? I wouldn't be that surprised, to be completely honest. I think this also could just, if we get rejected here, I would probably look for us to range in here for a little bit. But we'll see. I just kind of wanted to give a brief overview of what I'm seeing with ETH BTC before looking at ETH USD. Can you be a day trader only trading spot? I don't have access to be able to do longs and shorts. Yeah, you can. And I think you can make money doing it that way too. It's true, BTC haven't powered going up. Its retest resist going down this week. Yep. Sold my ETH stack at 2100. Got nervous. Hope I have another chance to enter around that price. I think it's possible. I mean, I think this would be a really nice buying opportunity right here. I think that would line up with our Bitcoin at the range low idea. The range on Ethereum was a bit cleaner. We had these two levels, nice sweep of the high, nice sweep of the low. Didn't quite get to the mid-range, and then it sold off again, but the level continued to be pretty valid. Rejected there, rejected here again, and then we broke above. So right when we broke out right there, I was looking for a retest to that range low. Thought that would have been a really nice setup. We didn't quite get it, but it's all good. How do you short in the United States? Can I just play the ranges by buying at the bottom of the range and selling at the top and repeating? Yeah, I mean, selling spot is essentially being like 1x short Bitcoin. It's just you're in USD, you're not long. So like if you, or Ethereum, if you sell one Ethereum here at 2,900 and then you buy that Ethereum back at 2,200, you made $700 without literally shorting it, but selling your spot is synthetic. It's like a synthetic 1x short. So, hey Cosby Gates, I shorted the daily open pump, but it didn't hit my target at 35,750 and was away all day and still in. Any advice how do you manage that position now? If I was in a Bitcoin short right now, to be honest, since we did just sweep this level, throw my stop loss right there and hope that it comes down here. If it breaks that high, I think there's a good chance we go here or here. So I think you move your stop loss as tight as you can to 38,750. Mitigate your risk if it does go up, but if it does, I think it's going higher. I think the hourly candle also closed as a little bit of a sweep. Yeah, honestly, if I was scalping right now, this probably wouldn't be the worst trade in the world. You know, we just rejected into the mid-range and the daily open, consistently making lower highs. Had one nice little sweep right here. I think, yeah, that is how I would play it if I was short right now. I think it's a pretty, like, I'm sure your entry is right around there, or your entry is probably a little bit higher up. So that stop loss should be in profit for you. So I definitely wouldn't close it right now based on how this candle just closed and how this is shaping up. I don't think it's horrible to be in a short right now. I would probably rather be in a short than a long right this second, just given the fact that we've got some bearish market structure recently, just swept that high and we're below the mid-range. Not necessarily saying I would enter a fresh short right here, but if it's going to drop, if we're going to go to the range low before we go to the range high, probably makes sense to happen from right here. I wonder what funding is at right now. Let's see. Very slightly negative / neutral. Funding's pretty neutral right now. What's my strategy on my alts portfolio? Well, I trade alts in the same way. Wow, Rune is going off. I trade alts in the same way that I trade Bitcoin. Like, I use my same trading strategies, I guess you could say. As far as spot goes, there are a few alts that I hold spot or am interested in buying spot of. And I would say when I see a setup that I'm bullish on, you could either take it with a leverage play, or if it's a longer term trade, you could convert some of your Bitcoin to that alt if Bitcoin is kind of your base that you hold, or you could convert some Ethereum to it, vice versa, whatever. But yeah, I hope that answer helped as far as the short, Mark. Yeah, we can look at XRP BTC in a sec. Trading spot is so much easier than derivatives. I win trading spot, just need patience, leverage derivatives, and I'm giving my spot to institutions. Yeah, that trading spot is definitely less stressful, I would say. Can't get liquidated just by holding spot. So basically for ETH, smart moves just sit on my hands until we go down to 2100 or flip 2770. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's probably what I would say. I expect this to keep ranging for now. If it ranges for a bit and then breaks out, you could look to rebuy spot here and then ride it up. But just be careful with it. Like, if we start closing daily candles back below, you could get back out again and wait to see if it goes to the range low. I know there's a lot of different scenarios, but that's just the reality of it. How do I choose the alts I want to keep? Usually just based on the chart. Morning, Kaz, tuning in late. Let's go. What's up, Reno? Thanks for being here, man. I was able to start a little earlier than I expected. So, all right. So Rune might be one of the best looking alts right now. Dipped right into this weekly demand, and now it's back above this daily level and back within the range, our old range. So what I would be doing here, I don't expect us to break this daily supply on the first crack. I think we get rejected there. So if it does something like this, I think that could be a nice long opportunity on Rune. Let's say I buy at 2100, where would the stop loss be at? I would probably put it at the low. We swept that low, so it's nice invalidation. I think that's where you're wrong. And if it comes down for a third wick, you kind of get screwed. But if it closes as another sweep, that could just be a separate trade, I guess. But yeah, if you did enter that, if you bought back at 2100, somewhere in here, I think your stop loss goes at the low, or here if you want to play it a little tighter, but I would probably be most comfortable having it at the low. All right, you guys wanted to see XRP BTC. Nice trend line. Oh man, I don't really know what to make of this chart. This is a pretty nice SR level. I mean, looks like we have a bit of a range right here. XRP is a funky one. Like, this chart in general just looks weird to me. There aren't many charts that look like this one. I mean, XRP is kind of in a no trade zone for me. I would just try and play this range if I could. The mid range is really clean on this chart. If it comes down for these lows, I think that's a nice long opportunity. So that's probably what I would be looking for. Why do some people have their ETH range at 1900 versus yours at 2100? What's significant about 1900? Let's check it out. Oh, that's Bitcoin. Do you mean this black level? This 1940 something? That's just a weekly. Oh, wait a second. That's not even drawn straight. I do think this is a 1933 is the proper SR level, I would say. Or do you mean this range level at 2146? The reason I have that specific range level is because I drew that range when, here, let's go replay mode. I drew that range when this was all that I could see. I don't really love ranges with the lows from these liquidations because I feel like it's a little bit more, not random, but it's less precise, especially because these liquidation wicks are different across exchanges. So I saw this high, this low. We started to trend up from there, through the range on there, and I liked the interactions around the mid-range. Oops. And then we swept the high, came down, swept the low, which added some more validity to that range for me. So that's why I have this range. Do I truly suggest Adam's blueprint? I try to learn more advanced stuff. I'll say if you like his website, Trading Riot, then I think you're also gonna really like the blueprint. It goes much further in depth, and there's a bunch of topics he covers. I think it's like 100 pages long or 90 something pages long. So if you're looking to learn more stuff, there's definitely a lot of content in there, and I think Adam writes and presents things in a very easily digestible way. So I do think it is solid, and it's not too expensive either. What you pay for his blueprint is what some groups charge on a monthly basis. So in your mind, the range is still 2100-ish to 2700-ish? Yeah, I would say so. I think it's pretty fair to say the concentration of price is still in here. I'd say this is like a deviation, as the legend trader SZ has coined or has popularized. Whatever you want to call it, deviation, anomaly, I don't really care what you call it, but this was clearly just a quick move outside the range, and price has been concentrated within these levels. And more 2,900 than 2,700, I would say. So, alts, I'm just not really rushing into. Like, there are a few that look good. I think if you want to buy spot, like whatever, maybe some of your low bids are good, but I'm staying patient until I'm more convinced that a bottom is in. I just think there are going to be better times to play. I was definitely wrong about this support holding. I think there are going to be better times to play alts than right now. So yeah, my focus is just not, it's not on alts right now. I'm trying to, most of, like, I don't know, it's just, if Bitcoin does just range here, like, I don't really know if alts are gonna blow up like when Bitcoin usually ranges. Like in the past, when we were up here, when Bitcoin ranged, alts performed really well. But now that we've nuked this much, if Bitcoin ranges, I feel like people might be trying to puke any spot alt positions that they have on any big bounce. So I'm not going to look through a ton of alts today because I'm just not super interested in trading alts right now. Sol is kind of an exception. I mean, I'm definitely bullish on the fundamentals of Sol, so I'm happy to scoop up more Sol in big dips, and it has one of the more bullish looking structures from a high time frame basis. But like, if you want to buy a little spot here, if you're happy with a $30 Sol spot buy, then fine. Like, I'm not going to tell you no, but I'm not really looking to trade alts right now. Like, this doesn't look too bad after sweeping this low and stuff. Almost into that high. But who's to say, like, if Bitcoin does pull back to this range low, which is almost like a 20% drop, because things are just so absurdly volatile right now. Sorry, 10% drop from 38 to 34, 33. Then who's to say alts don't drop another 20% and just put in another leg down? Like, I have no idea if that's going to happen or not. And so for that reason, I'm not interested in trading alts too much right now. Just want to focus on taking Bitcoin trades, taking Ethereum trades within the range to just stack more Bitcoin and Ethereum and get some more USDT if you're trading coin margin or stable coin margin futures. So yeah, alts just aren't my focus right now. I think there are going to be much better times to trade altcoins. I don't think right now is the best time to trade alts. I guess that's like plain and simple. That's what I would say. I don't think it is the best time to trade alts. I think there will be better conditions for alt trading than right now. So, do I post my trades anywhere? Sometimes on Twitter, but that's about it. Twitter and my Telegram. Like, yes, there's money to be made on alts right now. Like, certain ones are breaking out. You guys are talking about Matic or Matic, however you pronounce it. MTA is up 10%. I just don't feel like I have much of an edge there right now because I have uncertainty about the alt market as a whole. I feel like everything is hanging on by a thread. And so if Bitcoin does come down to here, I really think alts could sell off like 20% again. If Bitcoin sells off 10, there definitely are high beta altcoins out there that would sell off more than that, or 13% down to this level. So because I have uncertainty, I'm not going to try and tell you guys setups that I'm not confident in. Did the price of crypto punks fall? I don't know. I don't have any punks. I don't really pay attention to them. I have some apes because I like them. I'm sure the value of those dropped a bit. But I just think the apes are cool. So, all right, guys. I think that's pretty much it for this stream. We got pretty in depth with Bitcoin and Ethereum, and I think that's the most important thing to focus on right now. Don't say that, cause that I am uncertain about alts. Sorry. Yeah, some alts recovered really, really well. Like, if I look at this Sol chart, you could buy it here, but there's absolutely a possibility it comes down for another leg. Or you wait for it to get back in here, do something like this, and then I am super duper confident that it goes up. But here, it could go either way. So it's like, I'm not going to jump headfirst into alts right now. Some look good, some look like trash. You guys really want me to pull up? Yeah, this has done a great job. This looks bullish. There are some outliers. But I'm not going to FOMO into an alt when it's up 150% in 2 days. In 2 days and 4 hours. Like, what's the setup here? Matic could pull back to here and still be bullish. But do you really want to sit through a 40% drawdown? So because of multiple factors like that, I'm just not as interested in alts right now. I really can't stress it enough that sometimes the best thing you can do is just wait. It's hard. I know it's hard because that was one of my biggest struggles. And I still work on my discipline and try to have better discipline and just take trades at the extremes and when I have a clear setup. So it's not easy. But it'll save you a lot of money. You know, when I look at this 4-hour picture, we're also right into this 4-hour supply with the mid-range and the daily open. And like I said, if Bitcoin pulls back 10% to the range low, which I don't think would be bearish big picture. Like I said, I just think we're ranging, but alts will get smoked if we do this. The majority of them. So pronounced Matic, what did I say? Mathic. I'll call it Mathic. Sorry guys, I don't know how people pronounce stuff. I forgot to do this at the beginning, but shout out to my sponsor Bybit right here for sponsoring these streams. Thanks to them, I can do all this stuff completely for free for you guys. If you appreciate the streams, feel free to check out their platform with the link in the description. And also they're launching Doji. I don't know how to pronounce that one either. But Doge will be live on Bybit soon. So that's some fun news. Magic, like automatic. Matic. So it's just Matic? Okay. Automatic. That's a good comparison. Bybit do US. Let's check. Apparently, the United States government does not want you trading on Bybit. If you use a VPN, you'll probably be fine, but that's a risk you would have to take, and I'm not going to encourage anyone to do that. But I have not heard of anyone getting in trouble for it. So, need Sol on Bybit? I can talk to them about that actually. Sol would be a good one for them to add. And yeah, if you guys could like the video, that'd be awesome. Usually I try and hit around 100 likes. We're at 64, but I'm not gonna get too hung up on that. I know you guys appreciate the content. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'll stream again on Thursday, but then I'm actually going on a little bit of a vacation to Maui in Hawaii for a couple weeks. So you guys will see plenty of travel blog updates on my Twitter, because when I go places, my Twitter just turns into a travel blog instead of a crypto account. So for the next 2 weeks, other than this Thursday, I'll be posting recorded videos. I'll mention that on Twitter as usual. But yeah, a couple Kicking It with Kaz episodes are going to have to be recorded instead of live. Kaz, how's the big bro doing? He's doing good. He's just acing his way through medical school. I wish I had those genes. You rent a U-Haul to get around in Maui? No, I just rented a car. But car rentals are really expensive right now. They're kind of ridiculous. Everyone's trying to go to Hawaii. Do I think ETH is a good buy right now? I think if you just joined the stream, you can rewind. I think ETH here would be a good buy, or if we break above the mid-range. I think you're buying in the middle of nowhere if you buy right now. It's my 2 cents. Thanks, Kaz. First time watching, great stream. Happy to hear that, bro. Thanks for tuning in. People are renting U-Hauls because there's no cars available. That's insane. It's kind of funny though. I wonder if I'm just gonna see a bunch of U-Hauls driving around. What do I think of all the UFO stuff? I have no idea. I haven't been able to keep up with it. I had to marry a doctor, not clever enough to be one. Funny enough, my entire family works in the medical industry. My brother's in med school, my dad's a doctor, my mom's a nurse. I'm the odd one out. I'm the finance kid. Finance kid turned crypto kid. If I had to choose would I long or short right now, on Bitcoin I would probably short. But if we close the 4-hour candle up here, then I would say long. But right now, it kind of just looks like a rejection and sweep into the mid-range. But I have no strong conviction in either direction. Otherwise, I would be in a trade. Does my wife make more than you? Not right now, but she might one day. My wife is a financial advisor, which is kind of funny. But once she is managing a $500 million book of business, she'll be making like 5 to 7 mil a year. I'd probably I'd be a stay-at-home dad. We should stay for the new Daily Open, just hang out and talk. I mean, I'm pretty much just reading the chat. I'm kind of done looking at charts. Viewers are dropping off right now, so not everyone's a fan of the hangout stage that I've gotten to in this stream, but I've covered everything I can where I feel like I have a clear read. And now we literally just have to be patient. So yeah, my wife is set up. Her dad actually started this financial advising business that she is stepping into, so quite the blessing. But she's a busy lady. She's a very smart lady, and yeah, she'll be making some good money. Best resources to learn about trading. Best free resources, I would say my streams, Trader SZ's streams, Trader Main's streams, and Crypto Chase's free videos, and Trading Riot. Abe is his name. Adam, I mean, it's Abe Trades, but his name's Adam. His blog is also a really great free resource. If you're looking for paid resources, I think Rect Proof has one of the best paid groups out there. I hang out in there quite a bit. I think Trader SZ has a good paid service. I think The Haven, they just added Cold-Blooded Schiller to their list of analysts, so they have a pretty stacked lineup. I think those are the main ones. So do you use and methods to make money in a bear run? Honestly, I will be pretty happy if we just consolidate for like 3 years. I think I do a really good job of trading within ranges that I just would not be too upset if we just range for a while. What do I think is a reasonable amount to start with to make 7 figures in this market? I guess it depends how long you want to be here for. I mean, I think you can make 7 figures with 100K. I think you could make 7 figures with 50K if you catch the right market conditions. Yeah, I will. Oh yeah, SMFX is a beast. XB is a beast. SMFX and XB are great for scalping. Can't remember if SMFX still has his group. I know he has a strategy, the easy in, easy out strategy. I'm actually streaming with SMFX this Thursday. At least that's the plan. I haven't tweeted yet because it's not like set in stone. But the plan is for us to tweet together or stream. Can I Yeah, I will. I'll type out those resources in my Telegram. Rect Proof's Telegram is also a great free resource. She married a crypto punk. Yeah, she did. Do I buy the support with the expectation that it holds, or do you wait to see something? It kind of depends. I won't trade a sweep with limits, but I would be fine setting limits at the range low here. I would just have to play it with a wider stop loss. Like if we do something like this, take out Monday's low like that, then you can enter with a 3.6% stop loss. Whereas if I'm just setting limits here, I would probably layer my bids between this black line and Monday's low because I think I would want us to sweep that low, but I would probably have to have my stop loss like around here. So those are the main differences. But yeah, after this stream, I'll write out the resources in my Telegram. China literally just got me out of an underwater short. What'd they say? Stay-at-home dads, online shopping, eating chocolate, gym, and crypto. Cool, more resources. You know, I plan to be done trading by the time I have kids. Buy my beach house. Buy a lake house. If I'm right about crypto, those shouldn't be a problem. And then just be as present as I can in my kids' lives. That's the dream. Do her clients have / want crypto exposure? A lot of people call and ask about it, but I think it doesn't really make sense for a financial advisor to, I think it makes sense to talk to people about it, but there's no reason to, a financial advisor can't really buy Bitcoin for you because they would trade on some sort of brokerage. Like they could trade a Bitcoin ETF, like the Grayscale stuff. But if someone wanted Bitcoin exposure, she would just tell them to buy Bitcoin itself and not buy the ETF instead. Like if you want crypto exposure, go buy the actual coins. I'll be one of the big ones soon. Yeah, you will, Tyler. Bro, listen to me. You promised me range when range changed, how to identify. I did. Did I respond to your tweet about that? You asked the question good on Twitter. Tyler, DM me that question. Tyler Beecham. DM it to me on Twitter, like the tweet. Oh, you did DM me. Can you DM me the tweet? What was the tweet? Just so I can see it again, and I'll answer it. We'll talk about that. Please address this. Just turned 26, got screwed a couple business ventures, but I sold home and bought Bitcoin. I'm trying to trade rather than be a passive investor. If you don't have trading experience, I would not trade with all your 5 Bitcoin. Maybe put like 0.1 Bitcoin into account. But I wouldn't just jump into trading right away because I think that's a good way to lose it. I would definitely practice, back test, do some things like that for a while. He does have a group, you get access if you buy the strategy. That's right. He can mention it when we stream together. I'm out, Cos, but if you see someone driving around in a U-Haul, please ask them if they're on vacation. That's a good call. I should do that. Do I have an Instagram? Yes, but not a Trader Cos one. How dumb is it to buy support with no stop loss? I mean, kind of dumb. It depends on your like time frame, right? Like, I would have absolutely said that this level is support, but if you bought this level, you're drastically underwater. So like when crazy things happen, you're not really protected. I would just say have a stop loss based on the time frame of your support level. Like if you're buying this level, have a stop loss down here. I don't think this is going to happen, but let's just say you want to buy this level, I'd have my stop loss like down here. If we're talking about like a much higher time frame. Nice stream today as always, Cos. Do you mind sharing your trading diary setup again for us? Right now I'm pretty much just using Discord as my trading journal. Like I just have a Discord with me in it and I just post everything in there, and I think it's nice because I can like type a lot of stuff. But I could show a screenshot of just a basic. I would need to look for it. I can't remember if it's which one of my Google accounts the sheet is under. But yeah, I can talk about that at some point. Okay, I'm reading your tweet right now, Tyler. In regards to identifying new ranges as they develop and dropping old ones as they become irrelevant. Okay, that's right. So, for instance, when we start to trend a lot, I'll look for a new range. So let's say we break out of this, maybe we chop around the range high a little bit and then put in a leg like this. I'd be like, okay, this range is old. Maybe the range high is still important, but I could just change that to a plain SR level. And then I would just look for something like, I would look for a new range to develop. So I would look for a new price leg. Maybe it's a pullback like this. And then we mark that. And then just trade that one. So I would say either when we break out of a range to look for a new one, it doesn't happen right away because typically we go from range to expansion to range to expansion, etc. Like maybe this goes like this and then pulls back to here, right? And then this could be our new $1,000 range to trade within. So that's one way. Or if this just comes down here, keeps chopping around and just like stops respecting the levels, then I would look for something more recent. So for instance, if we go like this, let's say we take out that high, we start chopping around here and just not respecting this range low at all or something like that, I'd be like, okay, let's reassess. And maybe we look for a more recent price leg, and I would say this looks like a pretty good price leg to me. So maybe we mark that. Oops. All right, so maybe this is our new range and we swept that high and then chop around and maybe we have good interactions with the mid-range, something like that. So I would either look for a new range when my levels stop being respected or when we break out. if that helps. All right, guys. I'm gonna have to call it here. I gotta go. I need to eat. It's getting late. So I'm gonna head out, but solid stream. Appreciate you guys being here. Nice hour and a half where the last half hour was just us vibing. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope some of the Q&A was helpful. It's fun to just hang out sometimes. And lastly, if you guys enjoy the stream, feel free to check out Bybit. They're kind enough to sponsor these videos. I will see you guys Thursday, maybe with a guest, probably with a guest, but I won't, I don't know for sure. When I know, I will be sure to tweet it out. So, thank you everyone for tuning in, and I will talk to you in the next video. Stay safe, don't overtrade, stay disciplined, and don't force a setup just because you want to be in a trade. Those are my parting words. Alexander, you like the setup or the format? I appreciate that, bro. Have a good day to you as well. Greetings from Turkey. Thanks, Attila. Have a great rest of your day, man. I'll talk to you all soon. Thanks again for being here. Really appreciate it. Peace.